स्वात्मन्यनस्तमयसंविधिकल्पितस्य व्योमादिसर्वजगतः प्रददाति सत्ताम् स्फूर्तिं स्वकीयमहसा वितनोति साक्षात् यद्ब्रह्म तत्त्वमसि केवलबोधमात्रम्।
नमः परमर्षिभ्यो नमः परमर्षिभ्यः। हरिः ओम्। उपासकानां यदुपासनीयम् उपात्तवासं वटशाखिमूले तद्धाम दाक्षिण्यजुषा स्वमूर्त्याम् जागर्तु चित्ते मम बोधरूपम् अद्राक्षम् अक्षीणदयानिधानम् आचार्यम् आद्यं वटमूलभागे मौनेन मन्दस्मितभूषितेन महर्षिलोकस्य तमोनुदन्तम् विद्राविताशेषतमोगणेन मुद्राविशेषेण मुहुर्मुनीनां निरस्य मायां दयया विधत्ते देवो महान् तत्त्वमसीति बोधम्। ममाद्यदेवो वटमूलवासी कृपाविशेषात् कृतसन्निधानः ओङ्काररूपाम् उपदिश्य विद्याम् आविद्यगध्वान्तम् अपाकरोतु। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। अपार सच्चित्सुखवारिराशेः यस्योर्मिमात्रं भुवनं समस्तं गुहाहितं तं रमणं गभीरं चिन्ताविहीनं हृदि चिन्तयामि। देहं मृण्मयवज्जडात्मकमहं बुद्धिर्न तस्यास्त्यतो नाहं तत्तदभावसुप्तिसमये सिद्धात्मसद्भावतः कोऽहं भावयुतः कुतो वरधिया दृष्ट्वात्मनिष्ठात्मनां सोऽहं स्फूर्तितया अरुणाचलशिवः पूर्णो विभाति स्वयम्। योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम्। As a part of our Swadhyaya Jnana Yajna during the Chaturmasya period, we are contemplating on Bhagavan Sankaracharya's life and teachings. Now, Acharya Shankara is on his tour, has reached Kashmir We also had a plan to go to Kashmir last time. There is a Sankaracharya hill which will come here. There is a Sankaracharya temple. And in that Sankaracharya temple, Kanchi's Swami told me that on Shankara Jayanti day, you should do Abhishekam there. So all plan was done by them. Somebody came to know that we are going there, so the Pahalgam problem started. So now Kashmir, it is called Kashyapa Desha. It is a place of Kashyapa Maharshi. And Kanchi also is called as Kashyapa Desha. Both are of the same category. So there on the bank of Krishnaganga, this Vedanta Upadesha is happening. As yesterday we told, if you want to attain Jnanam, you have to approach the Acharya, express yourself, your doubt, and realize the truth. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya Upadekshyandyate jnanam jnaninaha tattvadarshinaha. This comes in Bhagavad Gita. You go to jnaninaha, to one, not only one teacher, to many teachers you can go. We do not know where it will click. In Bhagavata, that Avadhuta is having 24 gurus. And he says, Nahi ekasmat guroho jnanam sustiram syat supushkalam brahmaitad advitiyam vaigiyate bahudharshipihi. This Brahman which is Advitiyam, the non-dual, it is the same truth is being spoken, sang by many sages from looking from various corners, various dimensions. So you have to learn from many. Of course, Jnanam comes from one center. But preparation for Jnanam, you will get from many teachers. Some will give you a mantra, some will teach you pranayama, some will teach you how to be selflessly active in the world. Someone will teach you how to live without anger, how to be peaceful. From various corners you will learn many things. Insights you get from many persons, sometimes going through some life events, incidents. Purity you will get. But ultimate jnanam is from the Jnana Guru, the center one. That he alone is considered as the real Guru. All others are upagurus. They are all gurus. They are all upagurus. So, acharyebhyo labda susukshma achyuta tattvaha vairagyabhyasa balachaiva vairagyena abhyasa balachaiva dridhimna bhakti ekagriya dhyana parayam viduhu isham tam samsara dhvanta vinasham harim ide. Yesterday we saw this shloka. You need vairagyam. Without vairagyam, jnanam will not stay. People are ready to take jnanam, but not vairagyam. When mind is distracted by worldly things, samadhi will not happen. This vikshepa, this is the dosha. Due to vikshepa, there is no shanti. Vikshepa means distraction, scattered state of the mind. So slowly you have to cultivate vairagya. If you want to have vairagya, you should have viveka, discrimination. You should know what is not good for you. Which will pull you down. And once you are convinced about that, you have to teach your own mind to withdraw from all that is detrimental to your spiritual life. That is vairagya. It is intelligent vairagya, not simply emotional vairagya. Emotional vairagya, once in a while everyone will get. All world is all unreal. Because I failed somewhere. Next time the success comes, the vairagya also goes. So it is not that like that. Slowly the person through an intelligent way cultivates dispassion. He learns, he teaches his mind that this is not good, do not go there. The mind will not say, mind will not hear. It is, Yoga Vasishta says, it is like a spoiled child. So, nadragidi shanaihi lalayet chitta balakam. This mind like a spoiled child, it will go again towards the objects which are not good for it. So pull it back, teach it. Let it learn from life. And thus, vairagyena, along with vairagya, abhyasa. Abhyasa means again and again bringing the mind back and making it stay in the self, in the Atma. That is abhyasa. Bhagavan gave the abhyasa when thoughts are coming. Ask to whom the thoughts are coming. They are coming to me. And what is this me? Who is this me? What is this I? And you search for the source of the I and abide in the heart. Pure stillness. Again the mind will wake up. Again you pull it back. So, abhyasa samskara, through constant practice, this abhyasa samskara will come. The mind gets habituated to that withdrawal state. It withdraws into itself, into the heart. Atmaswarupa. So, vairagyena abhyasa balati chaiva dradhimna. Bhaktya, and bhakti is very, very important. Ekagra dhyana para, by concentrated meditation. And pranayamena, Thus, you have to use all methods to purify the mind and make it abide in Atmaswarupa. Hitva hitva drishyamashesham savikalpam matva shishtam bhadrishimatram gaganabham tyaktva deham yam pravishanti achyuta bhaktaha tam samsaradhvanta vinasham Harimeede. Hitva hitva drishyamashesham, slowly giving up the scene and withdrawing the mind to the seer. The scene, the drishya prapanja brings in vikalpa, distraction. So thus withdrawing the mind from the vikalpa and bhadrishimatram, the drishi, the drik, the seer is bhaha. Bhaha means effulgence, pure light. Bhadrishimatram, and what is that? Gaganabham. It is effulgence and infinity. It is like infinite, like the space. Bhadrishimatram gaganabham. Once you know this, tyaktva deham yam pravishanti. When the pot is broken, what happens to the pot space? Pot space enters the infinite space. Is it so? No. There is no entry. Pot space is pot space. Just pot was creating an ignorance, an illusion of limitation. When it is taken off, the infinite space alone remains. Ghade bhinne ghadakasham akashasyat yatha pura. Like that. So, tam samsaradhvanda vinasham Harimeede. Satyam jnanam shuddhamanantam vyatiriktam shantam gudham nishkalamanandam ananyam ityahadau yam varunosau bhrigavejam tam samsaradhvanta vinasham Harimeede. So with all the shlokas, Shraddha, Bhakti, Dhyāna, Shamadhyehi, Yatamanehi, Jñātum Shakyo Deva Ihaivasu Yaha Ishaha, Durvigneyo Janmasataischapi Vinataihi, Tam Samsaradhvanta Vinasham Harimeede. What do we want to attain that Atmajnanam, realization? Shraddha, Bhakti, Dhyāna, Shamadhyehi. One should have Shraddha. Shraddha means what? Shastrasya Guruvakyasya Satyabuddhya Avadharana. That immense faith and devotion in Shastra, scriptures, and Guru Vakya, in the words of the Guru. The moment you listen, you experience it. See, such Shraddha is there, the person attains realization by once hearing. Because he has so much bhakti. Deshikoktya Shivoham. Sankaracharya says the disciple realizes Shivoham, I am that. How do you say that? Because by Deshika, my teacher tells it. That simple it is. Deshikoktya Shivoham. In our Padashala in Hosur, one boy was there. Actually, that boy came here last week. Now he is not there. He is not very intelligent like other boys. A little dull. For those children also, every day I will sit with them and teach them the highest things. All those things they will listen. And this boy, when he was very young, he was only 9 years or 10 years old, one day someone was criticizing him or fighting with him, another boy, someone, he had a quarrel. So when that boy went, one devotee went to him and asked, did you feel bad that he spoke like that to you? You know what that boy said? He said, I am Atma. I am the pure self. Nothing will touch me. And he added, Appaditha Anna sollirka. He said, like that, he said, I have told him. So, I am Atma, I am pure self. So, it is not through enquiry or thinking or anything. It is simple faith. If that can completely, we do not know how much deep it will stay. If it can, because it is about, Vidyaranya Swami in Panchadashi says, can realization come like that? Why not, he asked. Why not? The unreal world you have created simply by imagining. Why not the reality come to you by simple once confirming, once getting convinced about it? It is simple. That simple it is. But we are experts in ignorance. Very skillful ignorance. Karakalanja ajnana. So Yoga Vasishta says, people are very, very experts, very skillful in maintaining their ignorance. See, all our studies, academics, every kind of learning in the world is to somehow keep the ignorance alive. In spite of that, somebody gets enlightened means he should be very great. So many books, so much library, so much learning, this Google, AI, all this. Maya is very much afraid that you will get enlightened any moment. So she is very busy keeping you busy, so that you won't pay attention to the precious thing that is within you, that is you, your very nature. So, Vedantaischa Adhyatmika Shastraischa Puranaihi Shastraischaanni Satvata Tantraihi Yam Isham Drishtvathantaschetasi Buddhva Vivishuhu Yam Tam Samsara Dhvanta Vinasham Harimeede. With Shraddha, with Bhakti, Dhyāna Yoga. These three are needed. You should have Shraddha, you should have Bhakti, Guru Bhakti, then Dhyāna Yoga. Whatever you have heard, you constantly contemplate on that, meditate on that. Without that, however births you may take, you will not realize the truth. So, with that knowledge, the darkness of ignorance vanishes and one realizes the truth. So, this is Bhagavad Pada's Upadesha. So, how to do Dhyanam? Atmanusandhanam. This is one question that a disciple is asking Sankaracharya. And Bhagavad Pada says, desire, anger, love, and so on that arise in the mind are all objects of perception. See, some emotion comes, you are seeing that emotion. When anger comes, you are seeing anger. That is why people generally say, don't talk to me like that, I am getting angry. If you say one more word, I will explode. So that means what? Anger is standing there inviting you. You are ready to fall. The moment you identify with it, you will explode. So there is a moment, a distance between you and anger. Anger is a drishya padartha. You are seeing it. One person once asked Swami Ranganathanandaji in Thrissur. It's about 30 years back. He asked Swamiji, I am getting so much angry. How to control? He said, you should look at the anger. You should not fall to it. It's a thing which is seen. He said, all those techniques don't work with me. Then Swamiji said, okay, whenever you get angry, put 5 rupees in the temple hundiyal. In those days, 5 rupees is a good amount. He said, oh, that is very easy. After that, next year when Ranganathan Swami came there, he asked, I don't remember his name, he asked, how is your anger? He said, Swami, it is too costly. Because whenever anger comes, this side 5 rupee note comes. And at last he just gave it up. Then see, you train yourself to have that, the consequence comes, You become aware of the consequence, that is. So, the anger is separate from you. You are witnessing it. And kama, desire. Kama also is like that. Sankalpa. Kama janami te moolam sankalpatvam hi jayase. Natvam sankalpayishyami samoolastvam vinakshyasi. Desire, I know how you take birth. You take birth by sankalpa. Sankalpa means brooding over it. பாவனியாவட்டத்துக்குள்ள வருவேன் காமோகாஷியன் மன்னியர்காஷியன் மந்திரம் எல்லாம் தெரியாமே சொல்லிட்டு இருக்கோம். It's a mantra which everyone has to chant. Kamah karta naham karta kamah karayita naham karayita eshate kama kama yasvaha manyurakarishi namo namaha. Anger and desire, they are compelling me to do. I am not the doer. I am moving away from that. I am becoming sakshi, witness. Asangoham 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 punah punah. Satchidananda rupoham ahamevaham avyayah. I am sakshi. I am the witness. I don't identify with it. The moment you have identity with emotion, thought, vritti sarupyam, as Patanjali puts it, vritti sarupyam, sarupata. When emotion comes, you become that. You identify with that. Then it explodes. So, desire, anger, love, so on that arise in the mind are all objects of perception. The drishya. That which sees all this is the self, which is pure awareness, the drik. Without slipping back into the scene, slowly and gently direct the power of attention to the seer. For that only Bhagavan said, when any emotion comes, ask to whom this comes. And the answer will be to me. And who is this me? I. You turn towards this I, then you find that the I merges in the heart. So, slowly and gently direct the power of attention to the seer. Drik drishyau dvau padartau staha paraspara vilakshanau drik brahma drishyam mayeti sarva vedanta dindhimaha. There are two things. One is drik, the seer. The other is drishya, that which is seen. The drik, the seer, is Brahman. The drishya is Maya, does not exist. This is the drumbeat of Vedanta. The drishya has no existence. The drik is always self-effulgent as the I am, as one's own existence. So, turn your attention towards that. When thoughts arise without being swayed by them, go back to the seer. Holding to that pure experience of existence is nididhyasana. After giving this teaching, Acharya composed shlokas pertaining to nididhyasana. Many ardent seekers listened to Acharya. They had already listened to the Bhashya from Padmapada and other disciples. These mature seekers, under the direct guidance of Acharya, engaged in Mahavakya Vichara at night. The Sampradaya is like that. In the daytime, the teacher will teach. Night is not for simply sleep. Nidrayaha, Lokavartayaha, Shabdaderapi Vismritehe, Kochinna Avasaram Dattva, Chintaya Atmanam Atmani. Constantly hold on to the Atman within you by Atman. And especially when it is night, everyone is sleeping. Most of the human minds are asleep. And a strange quietude comes everywhere. Then the yogi becomes wakeful and he meditates. Quietly he meditates, does his nididhyasana. Generally they say 4 kind of people don't sleep. The yogi, of course, is not sleeping, meditating night. And bogi, one who is indulging in pleasure, he is also not sleeping. And rogi, the sick, he is also not sleeping. And drohi, the trouble creator, in a translation, the wicked person, when he creates trouble for others, he cannot sleep. So, the yogi also, of course, without sleep you cannot stay alive. Don't try to do that. Once, today is Kunju Swami's Aradhana day. Kunju Swami came to Bhagavan when he was only 20 years old. So, they used to say, we were all very young, very strong, and we used to do all spiritual circus here. So once Kunju Swami along with Ramakrishna Swami and some other, many people they call Swami, but the name will be Iyengar Swami, Sippai Swami, Sofa Swami, all kind of Swamis are there. So they decided not to sleep and take food for 8 days. No food, no sleep. So, for 8 days. So, every day in Skandashram they will stay without food, without sleep. And by night they will come down to see Bhagavan. To stay with Bhagavan and meditate. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. They were very strong. So, without food, they stayed for 3 days. 4th day, they were coming like droopy, no energy, coming and sitting before Bhagavan. Bhagavan said, enough, ella poru. In the Tookan Sapadu Upavaravasa Vrata Cheshte, Bhagavan's favorite word is Cheshte. All this mischief of all this Upavasam, fasting and no sleep, all this is enough. Now, nalla aviyal pannirukku. We have good aviyal here. So you have good food. Now go back and go and sleep. There they stopped for the day. So it is not that completely sleepless. Yuktahara viharasya yukta jeshtasya karmasu Yuktasvapanavabodhasya yogo bhavati dukkha. In Gita, Bhagavan said, there is right amount of sleep, right amount of activity, right amount of meditation, right kind of meditation. Everything should be right. Moderate in certain things. And yukta means in what way you can be alert, vigilant while meditating. That much you have to sleep. That much you have to take food. So that is yukta. Anyway, but you can go sleep early and wake up by 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock, like that many people do. Because when there is so much quietude, those hours are very precious. And to meditate during that time. So, do nididhyasana. So, Acharya gave them the teaching of Mahavakya. Their night profound Vedantic dialogues will ensue. They took Bhiksha only once during the day. After that they performed Japa, Dhyāna, Nididhyasana. Their days were spent in this manner. Their nightly profound Vedantic dialogues with the Master were like the churning of the fire sticks. That is what the Upanishad says. Acharya Purva Rupam Ante Vasyuttara Rupam Vidya Sandhi Pravachanagum Sandhanam Ityadhi Vidyam. Arani, 2 fire sticks. Acharya is 1 fire stick. The disciple is another fire stick. The listening is like churning the 2 fire sticks, and from that the fire of knowledge arises. Acharyo araniradhya syat anteva syuttararanihi tat sandhanam pravachanam vidya sandhihi sukhavaha, says Bhagavata. It's all commentary on the Upanishadic mantra. So like that they will have this Mahavakya Vichara. When you do Satsanga, actually this is Satsanga. The teacher and the taught both have this. Either the disciple listens in silence or he can also ask questions. Somehow there is deep recognition of one's being. The fire arises within. So that happens. One could expect kindling at any moment. One could expect the flame arising within any moment. Generally, long before dawn, Acharya would transmit the essential experience of Mahavakya into their hearts. This used to happen with Bhagavan also, but not like that as a ready-made thing. Sometimes the conversation will happen, they will have that recognition. Sometimes it will happen inside kitchen, sometimes in the Goshala, cow shed. Sometimes walking in the hill during Giri Pradakshina. Sometimes you cannot predict when it will happen. The recognition will happen for those who deserve it, those who are mature to receive it. They will get it. So, offering the disciples attention as an oblation into the fire of his own awareness was a unique and brilliant spiritual feat of the Master. It was like aiming the arrow and striking the target. First one, Upanishad is the bow. The Shruti says, Dhanur grihitva Aupanishadam Mahastram. Aupanishadam Mahastram. The essence of Upanishad, Mahavakya, is like a bow. And the arrow is Sharam hi upasanishitam sandayita. Purified mind with the ego ready to be hit by that. The individual sense, I, Jiva Bhava, is like the arrow. Ayamya tadbhava gatena chetasa. Ayamya means when you pull the string. You have to pull the string, keeping the arrow on one side and pulling the string up to the ear, right ear. Like that, ayamya tadbhava gatena, with full attention focused on that. Lakshyam tateva aksharam somya vidhi. My dear child, the disciple says, my dear child, hit that goal. Penetrate that goal. This is Mundakopanishad mantra. When the disciple is doing the same thing alone during Nididhyasana hours, Pranavodhanuhu. For him, the Pranava is his bow. Sharohi Atma, his own I thought, is his arrow. Brahmatal Lakshya Muchyate, the source from where the I arises, is his goal, Lakshya. Apramattena Vedavyam, without getting scattered, without getting distracted, without inward slip. Penetrate into the center. Apramattena Vedavyam. Sharavattanmayo bhavet. Bhagavan says, Arunachala was having the arrow and bow, and I was hit by that. Lakshiyam vait arul astiram vit bhakshitai prananodu Arunachala. Very, very powerful song. And he says, Arunachala, you focused your whole attention on me, and you just shot the arrow of grace at me. Arulastiram vit. And what does that arrow do? Bhakshitai prananod. That arrow just swallowed my body, my mind, my prana, my ego, everything. All the upadhis, the body, mind, ego, means what? The Guru's teaching, the knowledge, it just gave you the insight that in your real self there is no body, there is no mind, there is no ego, there is no I. Bhakshitai prananoda Arunachala. So the even prana means body, mind, everything. Prana means mind also, body also, senses also, ego also, world also. Because in the Vedic terminology, no complex, so many names are not given. Only prana and Brahman. Finished. Only two things. All before attaining jnanam, all preparation is on the plane of prana. Prana vidyam parisamapya Brahma vidya arabhyate. So first is prana vidya. Everything is prana vidya. Upasana is prana vidya. Study is prana vidya. Life is prana vidya. Exercise is prana vidya. Karma yoga is prana vidya. Everything is prana vidya. So pranayama does not simply mean only this holding the breath in the nose. Putting prana in order means entire life is prana. So the entire prana is swallowed by that jnanam, and only that sat, that existence, shines forth. So by placing the arrow of the Mahavakya on the bow of the Upanishad and drawing and releasing the string of grace, it is certain that the arrow will destroy the ignorance of the disciple and awaken the oneness of Jiva and Brahman. If Pratyabhijna occurred at midnight, when the disciple is listening to the teacher, Pratyabhijna is the term. If Pratyabhijnayate, recognition, discovery of one's real nature. See, first time when it occurs for disciple, it is a great happening. It's like, the bubble, the ocean contains the bubble. But here you are seeing that the bubble contains the ocean. So such a recognition has such great wonder. You are simply awestruck by that realization. So the impact will be so deep. That is why, although it is a very simple recognition, the impact is so deep that it is unlike any other experience. So, here it says, so the impact, see, anything when you see, you wonder, there is a silence, an awe. So, the greatest of something that can happen to you happens for a moment, then your mind refuses to move, to think. Natural consequence, fruit of this realization is nirvikalpa samadhi, at least for some time. So, the listener would remain in pure nirvikalpa samadhi. That is what happened for Bhagavan for long period. The moon are indeed favorable. The stillness of the remaining part of the night and the cool, soothing, silvery light of the moon are indeed favorable to merge in samadhi. Many had the good fortune of experiencing nirvikalpa samadhi that leads to the realization of the self, absorption in self, as described by Acharya and Viveka Chudamani. Nirvikalpaka samadhina sputam brahmatattvam avagamyate dhruvam nanyatha chalataya manogatehe pratyantara vimishritam bhavet. Continuing the teaching, yes samastartha jaleshu vyavahari api shitalaha parartheshu iva purnatma sajivan mukta uchyate. After staying for some time, absorbing that knowledge, you see, the person's intellect has to absorb that knowledge. The mind has to absorb that knowledge. And his very reaction should arise from that knowledge. That is parayanaha, tad buddhayaha, tad atmanaha, tannishtaha, tad parayanaha. Gachanti apunaravartim jnana nirdhuta kalmashaha. All time, always inundated by that knowledge, in that state, remains perfectly calm and composed, as if they did not concern him at all. The worldly interactions does not affect him at all. Whatever vyavahara he is doing, nothing touches him. Such a person is called Jivan Mukta. Shankara Bhagavad-pada always remained in this manner. Even in the midst of interactions, he remained pure like the clear sky. Acharya's serene mind, abiding in Brahman, devoid of duality, was never ruffled or agitated by anything. Anyone who saw Acharya, even amidst great crowd and action, felt. That is how devotees saw Bhagavan also. All Bahala chaos will be there around him. Sometimes, KVS used to say, I don't know whose remark it is, Katukaduppu, Vaduvaduppu. Around Bhagavan, what was happening, Katukaduppu, Vaduvaduppu, no meaning for that. It's all kind of aversion, attachment, anger, jealousy. Because people, when they crowd, they will not easily get transformed. They will crowd everywhere. And they are coming there for what? They have no idea. They are coming there to see some wonder. All are not mumukshus. They are coming there for, and if possible, find fault with the teacher. One person, very orthodox person, came to see Bhagavan and went to another great Acharya. And the Acharya asked, did you see Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi there? I saw. I was not impressed. Why? Because he is eating Italy. This is something great wrong thing that he found with a Jivan Mukta. A Jivan Mukta, perhaps his idea was Jivan Mukta should not eat anything. Bhagavan used to say, "Idu enna Swami pa, varu saapidrar, thoongarar." And one person came to Bhagavan and said, "Swami, kettu poite Swami." He said, "Swami, you got spoiled." Bhagavan said, "Ama." Why? He said, no, Bhagavan already was old and his body was very weak, frail. So he was sitting in a sofa with a pillow kept under his feet. And there was a fan also. Those days it was a great luxury. So this person said, "Swami, kettu poite Swami." So you got spoiled. Bhagavan said, yes. Another devotee said, "Bhagavan, he is saying you got spoiled and you say yes. Ama oi, அவர் சொல்றது சரிதானே. யான் கெட்டு தன்னிலையில் நிற்றல் தலை. In உள்ளது நாற்பது we have written to erase the I, to destroy the I, to get destroyed and to abide in one's real nature." That is what he says. So, people come to see many things. They don't come to hear jnanam or anything. They want, sometimes, one day I was going around Bhagavan Samadhi. One person came with so much urgency. Avasarama varthe, hurry, with so much hurry, carrying a bag, went fast around. I was in Maunam also at that time. So he was looking at everyone, scrutinizing. And he asked me, இங்கே திருவண்ணாமலையில் சித்தர்களை எங்கே பார்க்க முடியும்? He asked me, where can we see Siddha? Somebody has, see, even in those days, in news also it came that Tiruvannamalai when Siddha was flying. So like that they must have heard. So they are coming for that. So for such people, even if Shiva or Vishnu comes, no meaning. So amidst all that crowd, when wise people, discriminative people, they found Bhagavan. Some people were proclaimed atheists, like Sub-Registrar Narayana here, when he came, he was a proclaimed atheist. His friend brought him, he said, I will not do namaskar to your Swami. And his friend Ramakrishna here, he said, you need not do namaskar, you can come. And when they saw Bhagavan under that ilupai tree, this Narayana here was first person to fall. And he stood up and asked, in Tamil it's very beautiful, asked, Yenna vastu appa adu? He said, this is not a person, this is a strange being, something which is inexpressible. So, those who have eyes to see, they saw in Bhagavan. Like that, here Sankaracharya also is told, where all kind of crowd was there, crowd and action was around. What was their state? Tushnimaste sanishala. You felt as if they are not doing anything. There was so much stillness. Nishala tatve jivan muktihi. That nishalata was so palpable. That stillness was so palpable. Although he appeared to have a body, Acharya was bodiless. Acharya was the self alone, Brahman alone. Even while performing actions, Acharya remained quiet, doing nothing. While giving discourses, his silence was more eloquent than words. Our real nature is bliss. It is not something to be attained or created. It is possible to recognize the bliss only through jnanam. Knowledge is the nature of the self. It is covered by the veil of ignorance. As the Lord says in the Gita, Ajnanena avritam jnanam tena muhyanti jantavaha. This is what we spoke today in the beginning. In this context, the followers of tradition relate a story. The story comes in Bhashim, the commentary of Bhagavad Pada. There also he says, Sampradaya vidaha akyayikam achakshate. So Sampradaya vidaha. So those who know the Sampradaya means great teachers who have come before Sankaracharya. He is just quoting them. The son of a king was separated from his parents at a young age and was brought up by some hunters. He was lost in forest and he grew among the tribals. Unaware of his past, the boy believed himself to be a tribal, a hunter, and behaved accordingly. He had absolutely no idea that he was in fact a prince. One day, a compassionate person who knew about the boy's real parentage found him out, recognized him, and then convinced him with the necessary evidence. You are not the son of a Vyadha, this hunter. You are the prince, the king's son. Somehow, you were separated from the palace and raised by the hunter as his son. So with this conversation, perhaps it might have taken some time for him to convince the boy. As soon as he was convinced of the truth of his ancestry, the boy was rid of the illusion that he was the son of a hunter. Immediately he gave up the hunter's way of life and accepted the life of a prince, which was his hereditary right. The identification, I am a prince, was spontaneous and natural in him. In the same manner, the jiva gets separated from Brahman like a spark from fire, gets into the body-mind complex, deharanye pravishtaha, as Sankaracharya puts it, in the forest of body-mind, and thinks, I am a samsari, I am suffering, I have all these difficulties, I am a samsari, I have so much problem, everything he thinks so, and follows the ways of the world. He identifies himself with the conglomeration of the body and the sense organs and thinks variously, I am thin, I am fat, I am happy, I am sad, etc. Thus, without knowing his true self, he leads a life of misery, when somehow the compassionate master, kenachit karunikena paramakarunikena guruna, that is how Sankaracharya puts it, kenachit paramakarunikena guruna, some supremely compassionate master finds him out, and the kind-hearted master instructs him, saying, you are none of this. You are the Supreme Brahman. You are not of this world. The Jiva. The Jiva then gives up the threefold cravings, gets enlightened and realizes, I am that Supreme Brahman which is beyond samsara. The Jiva gets firmly established in Brahman, just as the prince in the story spontaneously accepted his royal status. It is never possible for a spark to get essentially separated from fire. You are like that. Nasitvam samsari. This is the Upadesha. You are not a samsara. It is not possible for the pure Supreme Self to accept even a trace of worldliness. The renunciates, thus, this comes in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad Bhashya. The translation only we read. The renunciates who heard the teachings of Acharya were delighted. A Purva Mimamsaka asked, Lord, if we obstinately uphold the idea that Vedantic knowledge alone is the goal, will it not lead to the complete invalidation of Karma Kanda? Will it not imply the defect of only partially accepting the authority of the Vedas? In other words, the Karma Kanda portion of the Vedas will lose its authority. Karma Kanda Anartakyam. Acharya responded, that will never happen. It is not that the Shastras first instruct Dvaita or Advaita and later give instruction on action or self-knowledge. It is not necessary to teach duality. Duality is Jatamatra Prani Buddhi Kamyam, an intellectual flaw inherited by birth. It is the genetical problem. No one ever naturally feels that duality is false. Therefore, Shastras function with the understanding that duality caused by ignorance is natural to all. The Shastras advise motivated actions, kamya karmas, for the average man who is filled with attachment and aversion due to ignorance. The same Shastras instruct the supreme Purushartha or Jnana to the discriminating person who, seeing the evils associated with the ego, doership and fruit of action, yearns for peace. To a person thus liberated by self-knowledge, the Karma Kanda becomes totally redundant. Thus, it is good if individuals become mature and go beyond Karma Kanda. Not collectively. One or two gains that maturity and they go beyond that. For them alone it is said, Vedaha Avedaha Bhavanti. The Lord conveys the same idea in the Gita when he says, Traigunya Vishaya Veda Nistraigunnyo Bhavarjuna. The Shastras also support such a gradual transformation. So there is no intention to oppose the Shastras at all. Advaita Jnana Avasanatvat Shastra Shishya Shasanadi Dvaita Bhetasya. This Dvaita, duality of teacher, disciple, teaching are all kept alive, so that ultimately the disciple will reach that state where he says, Na Shastram, Na Shasta, Na Shishyo, Na Shiksha, Na Chatvam, Na Chaham, Na Chayam Prapanchaha, Swarupava Bodho, Vikalpa Asahishnuho, Tadego Vashishta Shiva Kevaloham. From here, Acharya is entering much more deeper into the area of Sharada Kshetra, where there is a Sarvajna Pita, Saraswati Kshetra, that we will see tomorrow.
Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala. Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala. Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala. Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala.